A night with the stars in memory of Gerry Singer Gallagher the entertainer was held in the Allingham Arms Hotel, Bundoran on Tuesday the 18th of November last. They came from far and wide, with entertainers from all over Ireland providing a show that Gerry himself would have absolutely loved. Peter McIntyre from the Allingham Arms Hotel and a great friend of Gerry's hosted this memorable evening.
I remember Gerry for the smile, the honesty, and most of all, he was a personal, very, very big personal friend of mine. Phil Mac in the Phil Mac show gave him a great tribute. Him and Lisa Stanley gave him a great tribute one night on the show, and they've done a brilliant job on it. And Gerry Singer will go down in Allingham in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. There'll be people still chatting about Gerry Singer Gallagher.
That's Gerry, he's looking down now, he's smiling.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. If he'll saying to me, why didn't you do it when he was living? But that's the kind of character he was. Like, he was looking for, I need to get a kill and I need to do this. But at the end of the day, Gerry was a character, and characters are hard to come by, and he was a brilliant entertainer, an absolutely brilliant entertainer. He probably underestimated himself in the entertainment business. He was a very good singer. He knew what he wanted, he knew what to do, and he was probably one of the best one-man bands in Ireland.
They danced, they drank and had the crack, and everyone felt that the great man was looking down on them for his last great show. Big stars from the entertainment industry provided a wonderful show, and many of them paid personal tribute to Gerry.
It's a special night here in the Allingham, and it's really good to be here, you know. And I only heard about it the last couple of weeks, and when I heard about it, said I've got to come down and just show my support and sing a few songs, you know.
How important is it for you to be here tonight? All Ireland's top stars are here tonight, including yourself. How important is it to be here to celebrate a great man? Yeah,
well, I knew Gerry. Not since I started out, but since about the last 3 or 4 years since I started playing at the Allingham here, and he'd always be playing in the bar, and he'd always come up and say hello before I went on stage, and just a character, to be honest, you know. He'd always be joking or making me laugh or saying something to put me off, you know, which was I always found really funny, and he'll be sadly missed, you know. And he was a great character around Bundoran, around the Allingham, and you know, he will be sadly missed. So that's why I had to be here tonight and just show my support to the family and to his friends.
Gerry was very much part of the rich tapestry of the music business. Everybody knew him and everybody liked him. Very likeable fella, great entertainer, and you know, just an all-around great guy. And you know, he was just taken so very sudden that you know, our hearts go out to his family and all his friends and all that knew him. And it's just nice to play our part tonight and come in and do a few songs, and you know, to mark his memory. You know,
known Gerry over the years, and you know, we were good friends and that, so it's just a pleasure to be able to come here tonight. Like, we are just one big family. When anything happens, everybody, you know, rallies round and helps out. So
business isn't always the most important thing, and the fact that we're all here tonight to celebrate Gerry's life, it brings the whole thing into perspective, because we never know when our time is going to be called. And I just hope that if I do go, that I get a reception like he's got here tonight, because the back room back there is absolutely jam-packed, and every star that's in Ireland is here tonight to celebrate. So I hope that, sincerely, that he's watching down above, and I hope he's enjoying his own party.
Gerry was always the same, no matter where you meet him. I met him one day actually in Dublin, in the street in Dublin. Didn't expect to meet him there either, and he was the same whether you met him in the Allingham or in the Gresham in Dublin. He was the same, bubbly, full of life, and a great character, great singer, great entertainer, and like, he done wonders for the music business. I know he told me he was in Santa Pons, I think, during the summer and all, playing out there, and he enjoyed that seemingly, and he was a great fella, you know.
I knew Gerry maybe for 2 years, and just knowing him in that time, you get close to him very quick. It was like, you know, an immediate sort of friendship thing whenever you're a singer, and that's why so many people know him. You know, it was maybe the great name, Gerry Singer, because all the singers was friendly with him, and he had great banter and crack. And the minute he landed, Gerry was over whole big yarn about music and where you were playing and where he was playing and where he was going that night, and call into the bar for a drink and we'll have a bit of crack, and you know, that type of carry on, you know.
I actually first met Gerry, I was in Cork. I was in the Racket Hall in Cork, and we were doing a gig down there, and he was on after the band, and I actually got the pleasure to go up and sing with the man, and always, he'd be well missed, you know, and he was a fantastic singer and entertainer.
Well, obviously, you know, Allingham's been very, very good to me, and a lot of these artists, we're all here for the same cause. You know, we're all here to show our support tonight, and it's good to see so many people turn out. And like I had, you know, it's something that I definitely wanted to do, and I wanted to be part of tonight, and I'm glad I'm here.
The Allingham was packed to the rafters, and it was a particularly emotional night for his many friends from Ballyshannon and Bundoran.
It was absolutely fantastic. There was a lot of work in the background. A lot of people were there. Dennis McGuinness especially was a great guy, helped us very much. And I was talking to him earlier on tonight, and he says, you know, if Gerry Singer saw this, he would have come back to Dennis and said, I filled the Allingham.
He was a great friend of mine. For nearly 50 years I've known Gerry. And anytime Gerry wanted to say something or anything that was bothering Gerry, he'd always come to me, and he'd talk to me about it, you know, and we'd discuss it. And in fact, the Saturday night before he died, he phoned me up and he says, Dennis, he says, me and you want to go for a drink tonight. And he says, we're going to the Thatch, and he says, I'm going to have a few drinks. And he says, do you mind if I stay in your house? There's no bother, Gerry, you can stay in my house anytime. So he did that and stayed in the house that night. That was the Saturday night before he died. And we had a great night up in the Thatch that night. Absolutely fantastic. He was a great friend.
What do you miss about Gerry?
What do I miss about him? It's very hard to put into words, you know. What I miss about him, he was such a lively character, you know, and no matter what room he went into, he was the life and soul of the party, you know. He was great, you know, there's no doubt about it.
I had the pleasure of meeting him a few times, and he was a great character.
Ah, great character. We were everywhere together. We were in Lanzarote 3 times, 3 different holidays together, and he was the life and soul of the party. No matter what night we went out, Gerry made my holiday, you know, he made my holiday.
Gerry, as a human being, as an entertainer, as a raconteur, was out on his own, really. He was a unique character, and I remember very well the night after the Late Late show that he hosted in Ballyshannon. On the stage that night, he was down the following morning at 7 o'clock, I think, organising the post-event. And I said, Gerry, you got any sleep tonight? I think he maybe got 2 or 3 hours, and that was typical Gerry. He was hyper, he was always on the go, he was larger than life.
There are a number of sides to Gerry that a lot of people here mightn't know. Gerry, in fact, was one of the best tourism promoters in this end of the county. I mean, he travelled far and wide, and you know, we often hear Daniel O'Donnell saying that Donegal, you know, my Donegal shores and things like that. Well, Gerry was very much the same. I mean, he worked with numerous hotel groups throughout the county, and he was always out there singing the praises, and I mean literally singing the praises of Donegal. Out through Scotland, at workshops in Dublin, the whole lot. And then when he actually got them here to Donegal, sure, he entertained them all night. Nothing was ever too much for him, you know.
He was an extremely skillful footballer and hurler, but his profile would have been about music, at which he was quite excellent. And I think this evening, talking to people like Brendan Gallagher and Paul McCloone, who were instrumental in organising this gig tonight, Gerry would have been the proudest man in the world to see the numbers that turned up tonight, to honour his memory. And you know, the one thing I said about him recently, he was quite a good golfer as well. I never saw him in bad humour. He was a very, very pleasant man.
He was always available for charities, for different events, and certainly he would give it a full blast. And he will be a loss to the community, surely. A man today at the young age of Gerry, it was very, very sad, very sudden on his family.
He had a great way about him, he had a great communication with people, and of course the great work that he has done for charity. And of course a lot of the proceeds tonight here are for charities here tonight as well.
For Gerry's family, it was both a sad and joyful night.
Thanks very much for everybody coming from far and wide, and my father will be very proud of you for coming, and look at, thanks very much.
I'm sure he's looking down now. What do you think he'd be saying now?
He'd be lapping it up, so he would. He'd be on video, he would have been turning in his grave with laughter, lapping it up. Oh, he'd love it now. He'd be if he was here, he'd be in that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner. He'd be around the room.
The morning he died, he came into my house that morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. He walked in with a friend of mine at the same time, and he says to my friend, thinking of getting highlights in my hair. And I said, would you ever get a wish at your time of life? And he went up the stairs to Ethan, my son, who's 13, and he says, come on, George, we're going to Sligo for a spin. And him went to Sligo. That was at about 10:30. Dropped him back to the house at quarter to 1. And I was packing the car to go up to the north, up to my partner's house. And Ethan got out of his car and he says, I heard Daddy say, where's she going? And I said, she's going to the north. Little did I know that was the last words I'd speak. And then Packy rings me then 12 hours later and says that he's died. So that saying, here today and gone tomorrow, has never rung more true in my mind. I'm thrilled with the turnout, and I can't believe this is all in honour of my father. And he would be so honoured. I know he's, wherever he is tonight, he definitely is a proud man. And thank you.
We remember Gerry Singer Gallagher, gone but never forgotten. Paul McCloone for Donegal TV at the Gerry Singer tribute concert, the Allingham Arms Hotel, Bundoran.